I think it's that our industry is steeped in anecdotal information. And I don't think anybody has really done an adequate job of really defining what breakover is. I can tell you that my 35 years of shoeing horses, my world was kind of rocked pretty good when I started filming a lot of horses in high-speed cameras, and then viewing them, slowing them way down, 500 to 1,000 to sometimes 2,000 frames per second, and looking at how feet land and how they interact with the ground, and how critically important it is to understand the footing that a horse is on if you're going to shoe that horse. You're going to be controlling that or influencing that interaction of the foot to the ground, especially at speeds and at athletic endeavors. And I think that that what I've found is that this term of breakover is a kind of a fluid term that I don't know if I have a good definition for it, but I know that when I view the hundreds of videos that we've taken, that when the foot is breaking over, that what's happening is the whole limb is being unweighted, and instead of rolling over with a lot of force on the toe, it's merely being lifted out of the ground. And as the body of the horse is continuing to go forward, the foot and the pastern and the fetlock naturally follow suit. And because of the design of the lower limb and the foot and the pastern, the heels come up first and the toe follows. And so I don't know if breakover and backing the breakover point up to a certain point is relevant and is as important as maybe I would have thought years ago, or a few years ago, when looking at these horses through at least yielding surfaces and how they interact with the ground. So I think a lot more work needs to be done. I think Pat Riley's got a good thing going on up there in Pennsylvania, because he's got some ability to measure pressures within the load-bearing phases of the stance, of the stride, and being able to use that with an accelerometer to actually kind of quantify what we think we might be seeing. Because I think a lot of times when we see shoe wear, it's not necessarily what we think it is. For example, I was visiting with Jim Poor a long time ago, and he was talking about sliding plates and how you see sliding plates wear, and then his observation was, notice how so many times, or how much lunging that a working cow horse or a reining horse does around in circles, and notice that they're always going in a direction, and with those sliding plates they weren't getting any traction, so they were sliding out and getting this unusual wear pattern when it wasn't really had anything to do with breakover of the foot. It had to do with them going around in circles so many times, warming them up. So I think we need to be careful on what we see doesn't necessarily mean what we think it does. So that's why I think we need to, as farriers, I think we need to be a little bit more diligent in owning our trade and trying to figure out some of these questions and what they are and how they work and how we can best control them.